We are back here with Disqualified Opinions. Thank you for joining us yet again. Last segment, of course, we talked about the NFL. But this time, it's time to knock it out of the park as we talk a little MLB. And this time, we're talking about sign stealing and all of that fun stuff down there in Houston with the Astros.
The asterisks.
Definitely the Astros.
If you've been on the rock or you're not sure, our good friend, Mr. Rouse here is going to give a quick recap of what happened and the penalties. And we'll give our 2 cents on it and go from there.
So, some of you may or may not know the Houston Astros have been in the World Series three years in a row.
3 years.
They're 2-1. They just lost this year to the Nationals. Shout out to the Nationals in DC for doing something right. Recently, there has been...
No, they it's 2 out of the last 3. Boston went in 2018.
Okay.
So they went to 2 out of the last 3 World Series, and they're 1-1.
All right, thank you. So over the last couple of weeks, per se, there have been some allegations against the Astros that have been confirmed when it comes to them stealing signs. Basically, the MLB allowed in-game like taping and things of that nature for like quicker responses. What they were doing was seeing the hand signals that the catcher was making and knowing what pitch was being sent at that time, which would lead to at least you not having to chase certain pitches, and you might not hit it because you know what's coming, but you at least know when not to swing at times. There was also a conspiracy that came out due to Carlos Beltran's niece's Twitter account. I'm using air quotes because nobody really knows. It's probably a burner account where there were buzzing devices that were used under certain players' jerseys to help them also further indicate what kind of pitch was thrown. Due to this, there were some fines, firings, and loss of picks done. The Astros were fined $5 million. They will not have a first or second round pick in the next two drafts. AJ Finch, Jeff how you say his last name? Lunau, Alex Cora, and Carlos Beltran have all been fired. I'll open the floor, let you guys have kind of what you got to say about it.
I'll start. I don't really have much to say, just that it's terrible that we have to put an asterisk next to all the amazing things that this team has done. Well, I don't even know if I can really say amazing anymore because of this situation here. Like, once again, this was the team of the decade, basically. They were calling they were calling this team one of the best, and now we see why. And I'll let DC touch further on this because I believe you're the one that sent me that meme.
So basically, their at bat averages were up, I think 20 to 30 points higher.
Their home and away splits were crazy.
Yeah, significant.
I can see exactly what it was. But when they were at home and the sign stealing was in full effect, so during the 2017 playoffs, which is the year they did win the World Series, Jose Altuve, Carlos Correa, and Brian McCann. Jose Altuve went from 143 on the road to 472 at home. Carlos Correa went from 211 on the road to 371 at home. And Brian McCann went from 037 on the road to 300 at home.
But he's on the road and at home, right? Doesn't that make sense?
No.
Okay.
That's
what somebody's going to say.
Yeah,
so.
but
not that big of a jump.
That is significantly...
Those numbers are drastically increased.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And I think the other thing that is kind of lost in this is that the Dodgers got to 2 of those World Series that were affected by this.
Yes,
my Dodgers.
Personal.
My Yankees lost to them 1 year too.
In the ALCS.
And I just think it's not fair because you never know what those teams would have accomplished had they not had a competitive advantage against them.
Exactly. If they played the sport the way it's supposed to be played.
And you have pitchers that come out and say,
always been cheating. Then
baseball always has
this was different. Though.
I think you have pitchers that came out and said that they would rather have a batter on steroids than a batter that knows what pitch is coming.
Yeah.
I can agree with that.
I mean,
You still gotta
Yeah,
hit it.
you
if
still
you on
gotta hit it.
steroids.
Like, yeah,
that's
you
that's
feel
why I
me?
think players. This is a whole other topic. That's why I think players who use PEDs should be in the Hall of
I
Fame.
agree.
Barry Bonds, God damn it, you white writers, get your old asses out of there. We need some fresh blood. Don't know what the hell you talking about. But continue, sir.
Okay.
all right. I think it just paints a cloud of uncertainty around the game of baseball and what the Houston Nationals or the Asterix were able to accomplish. And I think it's unfortunate because they're still a really good team and they have really good players, but you don't know how much of that was attributed to them having an unfair advantage.
Verlander, you've been quiet. We know you've been chilling with your celebrity wife, but you need to speak up. You don't like when people talk bad about you, that you were being trash in Detroit those last couple years for you went to baseball, Nirvana in Houston, you know what I mean? Altuve, you're MVP. You're not saying nothing. Correa, all you guys have been very, very quiet about this topic. You got to come out and say something. You know what I mean? You got to say something. Looks like the evidence is pointing to there was some type of enhancement going on.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with the whole video of Altuve coming off.
Don't
Yeah,
rip
you
my
said-
jersey.
Don't
Yeah.
tear my jersey. Don't tear my jersey. I believe the excuse he used was
His wife
My
felt like it
wife-
was an embarrassment.
his wife was mad the last time they took his jersey off. I don't. In that specific moment, like that was the hit that took you to. He was already a star, but that is what turns your everyday star into a superstar in that moment. So I feel like in that moment, for him to run off like this, that is a little sketchy in regards to it. I just think this just tainted them for years to come. Now I'm not of the belief that they should lose their championships or anything like that. I'm totally against, by the way, college football when y'all do that. Give Reggie Bush back his Heisman and all those kind of things.
I don't understand a vacated win or a vacated championship.
Like that man
eyes
still
on
was,
it.
he was still on the
Reggie
field
Bush
running.
is still the most electric college football player
I've
my
ever seen.
eyes have ever seen.
I've ever seen.
So
Whether
Yeah,
he's
it's a
getting
fact.
some money or not. I just don't think that you can vacate the titles. It's not like you can replay it or anything like that. So it's just something that's going to have an asterisk next to it.
They lose their draft picks for the next 2 years, first, second round. I think this will hurt them in the long term. With baseball, it's more of a 5 to 7 year thing in the future because their draft picks take longer to develop.
Mm-hmm.
But when you don't have a first round pick, you don't have a second round pick, it hurts your farm system, which hurts your future. So a team that has such a strong farm system now will be kind of deprived. Thank God, Mike Elias, Sig Mejdal, you all got out of that hellhole and you went to Orioles, baby. And we're on our way up. Thank you.
wait, so question.
Do you
Analytics,
think
baby.
the Orioles
you-
on their way up somewhere?
Do you? I'm not even gonna address.
I don't know what we are because
Fine.
this is really the first shit.
All right, so
When they was Fells Point.
yeah,
that's
they
about
they
it.
about to hit the bar.
We don't know what we are yet.
But I will say,
Not a winning team.
do you think the players should have been penalized or had getting some sort of
Well, from
negative action from this?
what I was told,
They
were given immunity
they were
because
exonerated. Yeah.
because they took this as head. This is what's happening. I do believe that everybody should have been fined.
Fine. Yeah, absolutely. Because they
At the-
all played the part.
At the very minimum. Now, if you're going to give them a little bit of exoneration for snitching and not give them suspensions, I can understand that. But at the very minimum, they need to be fined because they want game checks for participating in these games that they had this unfair advantage in regards to. So you can argue that they cheated their way in regards to gaining some type of money as well as the rings.
Yeah.
So if the GM fired, manager fired, all these other managers fired, should the players be suspended for a year?
I don't think they're going to do that because I think that takes away too much money from the business of
Of
MLB.
baseball, yeah.
I agree.
So I don't think that that's going to be something that
Yeah,
happens.
especially you got to
said
think about
five.
the names that
I want to see
are
what baseball.
associated with
We're
this.
talking about like some of the best players.
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
I agree.
I want to see what baseball does to fix the rule because I mean, it was very reminiscent of a Bill Belichick
Belichick,
kind of
exactly.
thing,
It's a
where
Patriots type
there is
thing.
a loophole in regards to a rule, and you figure out a way to maneuver around gray areas to get to a common goal. So I do want to see
Bill
how
Belichick is also a cheater, by the way.
A
the
lot
whole
of
Patriots
asterisks.
organization.
Lot of
We just saw
asterisks.
Robert Kraft get out too off of that, but
Yeah,
moving forward.
ain't nobody talking.
I want to see how the MLB
Nothing wrong with a
fixes
little
this.
rubbing tub, by the way.
I want to see how the MLB fixes this rule moving forward to make sure that something like this doesn't happen ever again.
Baseball is behind. They're slow. Rob Manfred, you got to get it together, brother. All right? You need to do this. I don't know why you make some of these rules you make up. All right? Get those dumbass writers out of there. Because Barry Bonds is a Hall of Famer. The man was a Hall of Famer before these, allegedly, he took these performance-enhancing drugs. He won batting titles. He was the best player in the league. He did it all, okay? All right? He was a five-tool player, and he's still one of the greatest players ever, and people feared him when he came to the plate. He single-handedly took a team to the World Series. But baseball, they're slow. They're losing interest. Nobody watches baseball. The young kids, they don't relate to it,
About the
okay?
Yankees.
All right.
So wait, one more thing. Carlos Beltran, for those that don't know, was hired as he was a player for the Astros during that World Series run, and he was hired as the manager of the New York Mets. But they decided to part ways with him based on this scandal.
It's going to be his first year.
Yeah, he was going to be his first year managing.
I still want to see
baseball.
him as a manager, though.
I don't.
He
think
probably
should
never
have lost
will be
his
a
job.
manager ever again.
I think he'll get another chance. But do you guys think he should have lost his job? Because I don't, and I'll tell you why I don't first. I just believe that what you do as a player should not transition into your coaching career. I don't think the two things are correlated, and I don't think you don't know what method he was going to use as a manager. You can't just say because you did this as a player or you were part of something as a player that it would change.
And he's a Hall of Fame
coach.
caliber player.
Yeah.
He might make it to the Hall of Fame just off of his play.
I think if the players got suspended, then the firing seems a little bit more okay with me. But with the rest of the players having zero just accountability whatsoever due to it, then at that point, because he's transitioned from player to coach, it doesn't make sense.
Honestly, I think that's why they did it, because he was in a higher ranking position.
But he wasn't in that when the scandal.
But
Yeah,
He
that's
was
what I'm
able
saying.
to-
But I'm right now when it happened, he was like, "Oh, you did this,"
Then
and they did.
everybody else should be suspended.
Yeah, but they probably didn't want that to look bad on them, so they just like, "Oh, we're going to part ways." You know how teams get; they so quick to.
I just think if it didn't
You know,
happen,
wash their
if it
hands.
didn't happen in your organization, it didn't happen under your watch, and it didn't happen while this person was a manager at all, I don't think the two things are related.
I agree with you, but you know how these.
Yeah, I
teams go.
understand
You
why
know how
they
these
did it.
go.
It's a PR move, and I understand it.
Yeah.
I just don't believe it's the right
I
decision.
am happy they got rid of Alex Cora Boston, baby, because you Red Sox, you suck, and that's what you get. All right, that's why it's gonna be another 100+ years for you win another World Series. Mookie Betts, get up out of there, brother, while you can. I hope they trade you. You're a great player, but get out of Boston. They're racist. They don't treat you right. Okay,
Boston is-
all right,
They racist,
all right.
Boston's
Cora,
racist.
get your ass out of here, and you'll never be a manager again.
To all the non-racist people in Boston, we love you.
Yeah.
Go ahead and hit
Like,
that subscribe
subscribe.
button.
Any closing thoughts, fellas?
Nah, just make sure y'all hit the the subscribe button. You feel me? Definitely got more content coming your way. You know.
Barry Bonds is a Hall of Famer, and you baseball writers, get it together, or we're gonna pull up on you. This is Disqualified Opinions.